Hi, my name is KathyLaDonna, and this is Soul and Vibration. Hey guys, today is Tuesday, June 3rd, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to the number 9 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So Tuesday is associated with Mars energy, and Mars is in Leo. So Mars in Leo is creating a trine between Mercury conjunct the Sun in Gemini and Venus conjunct Chiron in Aries. So positive communication or energy is happening with Mars in Leo. Mars is our motivation. It's what fuels us. And inside Leo, we're motivated at the thought of having courage. We're motivated at creatively expressing ourselves and just being bold. I feel like since Mars entered into Leo, some of us could find ourselves like standing on business when it comes to certain things, where before maybe there wasn't enough courage to defend yourself, stick up for yourself, or put yourself first. And with this transit is encouraging that. With the trine that I just mentioned, this trine for me, it reflects social energy because Sun conjunct Mercury in Gemini is social energy. And that positively speaking to Mars in Leo, it's like we want to be social. We want to connect with others. I think of the person having the guts or the heart to like say yes to the invitation, where normally they would say no, but they're saying yes. And for me, Mars speaking to Venus conjunct Chiron in Aries is like a person looking at their wounds and the things that they've been through as like a badge of armor. It's like, I've been through this and I've survived it, and it just means that I'm such a powerful person. It's like choosing to see the challenging things that one has been through in such a positive light, and not allowing those things anymore to make a person feel small. Or right now, with the energies and the way they're set up, some of us feel empowered when it comes to the things that we've been through or the things that we've survived, and are able to get out and connect with others, feeling social, not feeling like there's a need to hide anymore. And I feel like in some cases, when I look at, say, Chiron conjunct Venus speaking to Jupiter in Gemini, I think some people became educated and understood certain aspects of themselves. I think of in today's day with social media and just information coming at us in all angles, we're able to empower ourselves and learn about anything that we want just about for free, for free for the most part. And whether it's through social media or books or whatnot. And I feel like some of us got empowered, whether it's going to therapy or learning about certain things about ourselves and realizing that the things that we've been through, I think of it's like the victim realizing that it's like there's nothing to be ashamed of for going through what they've been through. But also to positively Chiron conjunct Venus, positively speaking to Mars and Leo, not seeing themselves as a victim, but seeing themselves as victorious, as a champion, as a hero, because, whatever it is that they went through did not break them. So I love that conversation that's happening with Mars. And of course, with Mars in Leo being squared by Uranus and Taurus, we're motivated by creatively expressing ourselves, and it might seem in certain cases that we might not be able to do so, as Uranian energy is reflecting the innovation and the sudden and unexpected changes that's happening when it comes to the material world around us. And some of us might feel like, okay, these sudden and unexpected changes are happening in my having to do with my stability and my security. And I might need to go out and do some adult type things in this life. Like, I gotta be serious. And to me, no, it's a matter of how we choose to see things. Because when I think of Mars and Leo energy, I think of the person wanting to be the artist, the podcaster, wanting to start their cooking business, their fashion, anything that creatively express oneself. And when I look at Uranus in Taurus and the square that it's making to Mars and Leo, is like some might feel like, there's no way I could do these things and build this stable thing for myself. But it comes down to how we choose to see things. It comes down to the stories that we choose to tell ourselves and what we agree is possible and what is impossible. The moon is still in Virgo today, and the moon in Virgo is still squaring Mercury conjunct the Sun in Gemini. So our mind and who we identify as at is in a space that is challenging our inner world. And of course, when the moon goes into Gemini, like with us being in Gemini season right now, Gemini energy is a curious, creative, just intellectual, brilliant mind energy. But Gemini energy could also be a trickster energy. So with this energy, with those who have no mind, who don't have a problem being deceptive, like, you know, for those of us who aren't present, could easily find ourselves getting finessed. And when I look at, say, the square, I think for someone, you know, might be in a position where it's like they're being called to make a decision or do something, but there's a part of them that is not okay with the decision that they're being called to make. Like, I think of, like, for someone, something might be coming up within, say, the past few days that could reflect compromising their integrity in some way. And then for others of us, I think of Mercury conjunct the sun in Gemini. We're curious, we want to have an experience. But then the moon in Virgo, we might feel like we don't know enough. We don't have enough experience or knowledge to jump into or dive into that thing. So when it comes to, say, today's energy, today is that ending that we've been, like, say Saturday, something came up. We may have made up our mind that something was over. Maybe we said, I'm no longer engaging in that anymore, or I'm no longer speaking to them again. But some way, somehow, you know, days pass, and maybe some people were getting closure or trying to understand things deeper. And then we come back to today's energy. And in today's energy, it's like, for some, probably finally having the courage or the bravery to say, okay, I'm done. Or for some, maybe something comes to an end in a way that one didn't expect it to. Or for others of us, something has come to an end. It's been come to an end, but we are, you know, we're seeking closure. Or like I was saying in one of the past videos from watching The Matrix, it's our decisions have already been made. Whenever it seems like we're seeking advice or we're seeking what we're going to do next, it's a matter of understanding why we made the decision that we made so that we could surrender and move forward. And I feel like when it comes to today's energy, for some of us, we might have a hard time surrendering and moving forward. So some of us could come up with a clever way to still remain in some kind of a cycle or some kind of a situation. But eventually, you know, if something is meant to end, it's already ended. It's just we're deluding ourselves to think something is still going on when really we're just choosing to stay stagnant. Where, like I was saying in a past video, it's like, imagine the relationship been ended, but the people were still together. You know, you been quit the job, but you stayed, you been quit the job in your head, in your spirit 10 years ago, but you stayed 10 years longer. And it's like, even though you stayed and you were making money, it's like choosing to stay. It's like choosing to stay stagnant for 10 years. When it comes to the spirit guidance for today, we have the starfish. And the starfish coming out as a spirit guidance for today brings me to surrendering. And that was a similar message I had for Saturday's energy, where there was something about just surrendering, where I feel like for some of us, we might want to interfere with things. We might want to, interfere. Like, I think of the person who is empathetic, or especially with Moon and Virgo, always worrying about like protecting other people's feelings and taking care of others, to the point that maybe they were in a situation where they weren't being treated properly and they decided that they are walking away, but then found themselves feeling guilty for taking their presence away, and instead trying to smooth things over with the other person when they want nothing more than to get away from this thing. I feel like with the starfish energy, it's like if something comes up today that closes a door on something, just don't do anything. You know, imagine floating in a pool. It's like, just surrender and let go. Don't try to manipulate anything. Don't try to control anything. Don't try to do anything. Just allow for things to just flow. Allow for things to end. I look at the moon today, positively speaking to Uranus in Taurus, along with Pluto in retrograde in Aquarius, also positively speaking to Uranus in Taurus. So when I look at the positive conversation happening from the moon to Uranus and Pluto to Uranus. I think of Uranian energy reflecting innovation that's happening in our world and how everything around us is pretty much changing in a major way. And that could be stressful, but today with the moon in Virgo is seeing the light where that's concerned. Something about that doesn't feel as scary. There's this feeling of optimism when it comes to that. And with Pluto in Aquarius in retrograde, something about like, say, I think of, with Pluto in Aquarius energy retrograde, I think of how when we're part of a certain circle or part of a certain group, it caused us to see the world in a certain way. And something happened and we break away from that group. And from breaking away from that group, our mind is all of a sudden free, where we're starting to see different possibilities. Where I think of like, say, being a part of a group where it's like you downplayed yourself and you limited yourself and made yourself feel small because you didn't want to offend anyone. You didn't want to make anyone feel any type of way. Like I think of like, say, the person that grew up in a dynamic where there was competition from day one when it came to the family and the people around them. So because there was always competitive energy, maybe the others were in competition, but they could just feel, they could feel the competition in the sense that they can feel, say, every time there's an opportunity for them where there's a win, it makes others feel uncomfortable, where maybe they didn't look at it as competition before, but they just knew every time when they shine, others felt uncomfortable. So from a young age, they learn to kind of edit themselves or kind of like play down their wins. And just like, I feel like if a person naturally plays down everything about themselves, that might be a result of being in an environment where your wins were problematic because low-key maybe others were in competition, and the competition could have just looked like your wins feeling like some kind of an attack, or feeling like you're showing off, or feeling like some kind of a negative thing that you're doing to the rest. And I feel like, say, for that person that's used to that environment would be so used to always stepping in and editing, stepping in and fixing, stepping in and worrying about, how everybody else is perceiving what's happening, what everybody thinks about what's happening. I also think with that person and being in that environment, how that person could also be self-absorbed, but self-absorbed in the way that where it's like, say, before they were meant to feel like everything is their fault. So it's like growing up and feeling like everything is their fault, where it's like your win, because of your win, there's bad vibes, it's your fault. Or, this person ain't talking to you, it's your fault. So it's like a natural, this natural feeling of feeling like when things go wrong, it's some way, somehow their fault. Where today could be a day where some things are falling apart, some things have come to an end, but being so used to always feeling the need to put the fire out or fix the thing because it's always your fault, it could be so natural to want to, like I said, try to smooth things over or prevent something from happening when really you want to get away from them. You want to get away from the connection. You want to quit the job. You don't want to be bothered with that anymore. But at the same time, worrying about hurting someone else's feelings. If you're someone who could resonate with that, it's time for you to choose yourself. It's time for you to focus on yourself. With the star card, starfish coming out in the upright position, it brings me to surrender. It's like if something happens and there's an ending happening, a separation happening, just let it. You don't have to do anything. Don't try to stop it. Don't try to fix it. Just surrender. Just do nothing. And when it comes to the tarot, we have the 7 of Pentacles come out, and it came out in the reversal position. And I feel like it came out in the reversal position for a reason today. Because in the upright position, it will remind me of the person investing. And when it comes to, say, the energies in today, I don't feel like there's anything to invest into. If anything, it's a matter of surrendering and see what happens. And then after everything is clear, then you decide where you want to invest your resources. Where with this energy, if it came out in the upright position, I would think of someone looking to see how they could invest their time or their attention or whatnot. Today's energy gives me the feeling that it's not the time to invest. Instead, it's the time to step back and see, and to see what's happening. Like I think of like, say, a person who's looking to invest in the world and things might seem a little bit chaotic and it's unsure, things are unsure to know if the market is going up or the market is going down. And it's like, if things are unsure, take a step back and allow for things to become more clear. So yeah, when it comes to today's energy, take a step back and allow for things to become more clear. It just feels like it's not the time. Let's pause for a bit. I am proud of the services that I offer and excited to tell you about them. If it would be your first time booking with me, then I recommend the natal chart and numerology awareness coaching session. For a while, that was the only service I offered, along with the 30 minutes tarot reading, which is still available if you're interested. I noticed the pattern. At the end of the natal chart and numerology coaching sessions, some of you would ask me for a follow-up service options for additional clarity and guidance to assist you with whatever you're going through at the moment. I kept saying, I'll look into it. I don't know why it took me so long. Finally, I have created that option along with the service option to book a solar return chart reading for those of you who are strategic and like to plan ahead. Everything you need to know is within the description box below. Let's get back into the video. To try to invest in the connection. And I feel like with Moon and Virgo, those of us recovering people pleasers are only trying to like fix things. It's like only trying to be nice. And in some situations, you can't be nice. In some situations, it's like, why do you want to be nice? Why do you want to be nice? And to me, it's like being nice it's like, it feels like it's being fake. It's like, why do you care what they think about you is a question to ask. Because in the situation of the person trying to be nice, it would feel more of like one trying to preserve their image. And it's like, if they don't like you anyway, why do you care what they think about you? Because you can't make them like you if they don't like you. It's like, that's something that's coming up when it comes to a certain situation where it's like, stop trying to invest in a place where like nothing can grow there. So with today's energy adding up and reducing to number 9 vibration, something comes to an end. And with the star card in the upright position, you have to surrender and learn to allow it. It's like, go pick up a hobby or something to focus your attention and don't try to go over there and stop what's already in place. It was a pleasure sharing this message with you, and I would love to hear from you. You could do so by dropping me a brown heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.